What's the worst Christmas present you have received? My dad. His first Christmas, divorced and living alone. First time ever shopping for us, clearly Lamau because my mom did all the shopping before. Got me a nose hair trimmer. I was 12, and definitely did not understand why I got that gift. This shit blows my mind. Like, how does that even compute in someone's head? I'd rather show up with nothing than pull some shit like this. I'm sorry that happened to you. My wife does all the gift purchasing and I just help in discussions about what to get. I'm not terrible at gift giving, I think, just have anxiety and a lot of self-doubt. Unless my wife, kids, or family tell me specifically what they want, anything I get them. Even when I know it's something they want or could use. I feel like I failed by getting something shitty and not the specific items they wanted. Like, to the point of making me want to cry. If that all makes sense. Especially clothes for my wife is one I can't get over and it fucking kills me. But to roll up to a 12-year-old girl, your daughter, a person you should know pretty well and love a lot, and be like, here's a nose hair trimmer. Merry Christmas. ? I can't even fathom how someone can do that. And that's coming from me, a fucking terrible gift giver. A dish towel. I was 8 years old. Oh, yeah, that was very common in my country until recently. Especially the older members of the family would give household gifts to the children, especially the girls. It's based on the tradition of the couple moving into the same household after marriage. Usually the women would bring the household furnishings to the marriage. So from a young age, girls receive gifts like this and gradually build up this equipment so that families don't have to buy it all at once. This was especially common among less affluent families. An elementary school teacher of mine once told us the story of how she received a set of towels from her grandmother for Christmas when she was about 8. This was in the 1940s. From her grandmother's point of view, it was a generous gift that she had carefully chosen and had to save money for all year. But it was a terrible disappointment for an 8-year-old girl. And she didn't hide it. She said she later regretted her reaction. Which is obvious because she still remembered it even at 70. She told us this story to teach us a lesson about gratitude. This whole idea is wildly foreign to me, and although I guess I get it, I can't help but wonder what the parents think. Like, hey, thanks, we have keep this household item now for, hopefully, 10 plus years until they get married. We'll just throw it in the box. When I was 10 years old, my grandparents gave me an unwrapped suitcase for Christmas. In the interest of convenience, they used that suitcase for the wrapped presents for my sisters. I have a sad suitcase story too. My grandparents were the co-signers for me to go to college. 2 weeks before I'm supposed to leave, they changed their mind because of some news article that scared them. I was beyond devastated, but it was what it was. A few weeks later was my birthday, of which I had spent working my fast food job and was just a miserable day. I come home and they gift me a suitcase. The suitcase that was meant to be a graduation gift for when I left for college. Took a lot to hold the tears back on that one, haha. Not one I got, one I didn't get. My mom crocheted my 2 sisters' tablecloths and gave it to them in front of me. I just stood there, trying not to cry. A comic book that was laying around the house for several months, which I read twice in this period. I didn't know it was supposed to be my surprise present. Since my dad isn't on Reddit, I will share his story for him. When he was young, he was hell-bent on becoming a drummer. He would make full drum kits out of my grandmother's pots and pans and whatever he could find. Very detailed setups. After months and months of building drum sets and drumming on anything he could find, he woke up Christmas morning to an acoustic guitar and guitar lessons. He told me he took a few lessons and would always end up flipping the guitar over in the class with the other students and just play it like bongos. Reminds me, a few weeks ago I was in a Goodwill and saw a kid in a cart pushed by his mom. There was a nice kid's drum set, you know, like actually drums and all but small, and the cart with him and the little dude was already jamming away. So happy. Not much else to the story, but I was really depressed that day, and seeing the kid having fun was definitely what I needed. Looking back, it wasn't a bad present, but when I got a pair of pants for Christmas when I was 6, I started crying and screamed out, "You were supposed to get me these anyways." A Lamborghini calendar. My brother got a guitar and amp. My 2 sisters got a bike each. Fuck, I hate Lamborghinis now. My grandparents got my sister a guitar once. Not to mention all the other things. I've never gotten more than a t-shirt, mug, toiletries gift pack, or cheap off-brand Nerf gun pack to share with my dad. Person shrugging, /U200D, male sign. The year I gave my ex-husband a Tag Heuer watch, he gave me a $19.99 Walmart blender. We already had 3 blenders. A set of miniature butter knives with ceramic fruit and vegetables as the handles. From an aunt who said that I was so hard to shop for. He was 7. Every year my aunt gives our family thrift Santa gifts. Like a bunch. From thrift stores. The thing is, nothing relates to anything. The worst I've gotten are among a Kama Sutra book when I was 13-14, awkward, and a New York Yankees baby onesie. I don't have kids. I don't watch baseball. A pack of cigs and a roll of trash bags. I don't smoke. Grandma got me a dollar store electric toothbrush. Y'all know that thing didn't even turn on. When the Tamagotchi craze was in full swing, my siblings and I asked for one. My sisters both got one. And I got a jacket because mine was torn up and small. When I asked my dad why I didn't get one and if Santa thought I did something bad that year, he told me I was too old for Santa and needed to learn life isn't fair. I was 8, my sisters were 7 and 5. From that point forward I only ever received clothing. I participated in a voluntary office Christmas exchange in 2012 with a $30 limit. My gift was a CDR of the giver's favorite album. I was less than enthused, but nonetheless slid the disc into my car to check it out only to find out that it was blank. The person had written the band name/album title on the disc, but forgot to actually burn a copy. Edit, it was supposed to be the album Spit by Kitty. My mom asked what my 13-year-old daughter wanted for Christmas and I said, she likes to sew. How this led to our entire extended family buying her nothing but yarn I do not know. That was 2 years ago and there's still so much yarn. Titanic DVD. Pirated copy. Already seen it before twice. Didn't have a case. Just had Titanic written in marker pen. It didn't belong to the person who gifted it. The DVD was scratched and didn't even play. A pencil. My deadbeat dad brought 9-year-old girl me motel shampoo and an adult men's shirt he got for free. Wish I was joking. My husband's uncle called me 4 times on my birthday before 8 a.m., leaving cryptic voicemails about how he needed to talk to me ASAP. I thought someone died. I called back maybe 20 to 30 minutes later when I was fully awake and he told me to rush over to his house. I get there and he says he had a gift for me. Wanted to make sure I got it on my birthday. And pulls a men's polo out of his laundry basket and says I saw this and knew you'd love it. I'm a petite woman who doesn't wear polos. He found a men's large polo shirt in the back of his closet that he was given at some event 15 plus years ago, and somehow thought that was emergency worthy, but also didn't need to even put it in a gift bag or anything. Crumpled in the laundry to my hand. It's been almost 3 years and I'm still perplexed by it. The time I was really into Green Day and the emerging alternative music of the mid-90s, and my mom bought me a few CDs, back when CDs were something stupid like $20 each. Wow. Awesome gift. Except the CDs were Toni Braxton and Mariah Carey and something else I've completely forgotten. Or the Christmases when my brother would get a pile of presents or something pretty expensive, foosball table, air hockey table, etc. And I'd get a couple books and lip gloss. I love those things. So the gifts themselves weren't bad, but I was clearly not the favored child. In the aftermath of gift opening, mom would look at the pile my brother got and the few gifts I got, then make a big show of stomping around the house claiming she knows she got more for me. She must have misplaced all the other gifts. Without fail, for several years in a row, she misplaced my gifts, because she realized in the moment that she spent way more on my brother than me. Never once did she find these misplaced gifts. And to make it worse, my birthday is shortly after Christmas, so I never got much for my birthday because the budget was blown on Christmas. My brother claims he remembers me getting shitty birthday gifts and I was always jealous of his. I don't have any memory of that, but it very well could be. The worst birthday was the year I only got a Bible with my name stamped on the front in gold lettering. That's a birthday I remember quite clearly. My great-grandma gave my cousin a jock strap from Goodwill. Her mental health was bad at this time. 1992-ish? He started crying. He was 9. One year I got what was actually a super cool present. My parents had worked for months putting together this awesome art kit. It was a big toolbox filled with good scissors, glue, paint, colored pencils, glitter, and every other thing a crafty little kid could want. The problem was, every time they would go upstairs to add to it, they had a running joke where they would say we are going upstairs to feed your present or we need to take your present for a walk TTT. So of course on Christmas morning instead of being a little kid who was stoked to get a huge box of art supplies, I was a little kid who was devastated that I didn't get a puppy. One time when I was 10 my mom gave me and my brother a packet of plastic rainbow bendy straws each for Christmas. She was mad at our dad for having brought us back 3 days late from his part of the holidays and took it out on us. Being a contrary soul, I happily took my brother's discarded pack and proceeded to make a million rainbow flutes that I would incessantly try to learn to play. For the next 2 months, I suspect she lived to regret her choice since I also never cleaned any of my discarded flutes up. Cheap cologne, I don't wear cologne, that I suspect was shoplifted. A size 3XL dark pink sweater for my sister. I wore XL and was very vocal about hating the color pink, but my sister had just lost like 80 pounds, probably about the sweater for herself before she lost weight then never wore it. So she took it out of her closet and gave it to me. My sister is 25 years older than me and I was in my 20s at the time. This wasn't just youthful ignorance. My sister's father. I wanted Pokemon Sapphire or Ruby so bad for Christmas it was the only thing I asked for. A few days before Christmas he came home with a GBA cartridge wrapped in wrapping paper and set it on one of the Christmas tree branches. He said you can't open it until Christmas excitedly, so my 3rd grade brain assumed he had gotten what I asked for. Christmas Day comes and I open it immediately to see Ice Age 2, the meltdown staring at me. It was the first time I faked liking a present. Edit, holy shit. Thanks guys. For those wondering, I did indeed get the game a year later. My mom's good friend bought a used version of Sapphire for me. Started loving computers at age 7 in '92, ZX Spectrum and then 186, 286 etc. at our local kids club. Kept on going, learned to code early, was addicted to everything related to them. Grandma called me and told me she had sent money to my parents to buy me a PC. At 11, in 96, I was so excited. All my friends could not wait to see it and play with me. I could not sleep for days on end. Then Christmas Eve came, we do the gifts in the evening. Rushed under the tree and, surprise, I got a mobile electronic organ player. My mom told me it has buttons, right? Just like a computer. She took the money and bought an automatic washing machine. I'm still fucking upset, Mom. My aunt is very eccentric and would always ask for a Christmas list from me. So, for a few years, I would send her a list, only to realize that she would give me something from the dollar store, wrapped in reused wrapping paper from the previous Christmas. I once got cologne from the dollar store when I was 8 or 9, and she wasn't poor. Quite the opposite. She had a lovely house and a pretty high-income job. She was just a little messed up mentally. So, one year, when I was 11 or 12, I thought, I'm only going to ask for one thing and see what happens. A Seattle Seahawks t-shirt. The package arrived, and the day came, and it was indeed a t-shirt. A used Buffalo Bills t-shirt with some stains on the logo. It was the right size, though. My boyfriend got me a can of pears last year.